All right, so I've decided the other video I was going to make, I'll wait until tomorrow when I'm awake, properly awake, and talk about that then, talk about it in the morning. But for now, the last thing I want to talk about was turbo manifolds. All right, so there are three ranges of turbo manifold. There is the cast iron log style. There is the mid-cost range TIG welded, MIG welded steel manifolds. And then there's the high-end fabrication from the big guys, right? So the way I see it is if you're 500 and below and you want to go budget, log style manifold. Why? Because cast iron, I've never seen one crack. I'm saying they don't. I'm just saying to date, I've never seen one crack. So if you want to budget and you don't want to have to worry about one of your fucking tubes popping or the wastegate popping off, because that's where the weak spot is for these ram horns that are cheap, then just get a log style. You don't have to worry about fucking welding that again. It'll still make the power you need under 500. It'll probably even make more than that, to be honest. But you know, I think if you're gonna go over 5, you need to go all out. All right, so there's that. Now then there's the medium range ones. The medium range, like the sidewinders and shit, 1320 and a Rev 9 or whatnot. I'm guilty. I have that one on my website right now. I'm taking it down. It's not going to be up there anymore. See, the thing is that besides fitment, which has been a problem with some of these generic manifolds, the cracking is there. Now, the thing is, these motherfuckers are smart. They price it just enough for you to think it's legit. Now, if you see something that costs less than what you expect, no matter how good it is, you're automatically going to assume generic, and some people are going to want to stay away from that. Now, you don't want to spend all the money, like $700 on a big name manifold, but you don't want to buy the cheap one either. So what do? You go to that mid-range where 1320 manifolds and shit like that are sitting out. But what you don't realize is those motherfuckers are cheap as shit too. They just fool you by marking up close to what the real shit is, but just enough of a discount for you to think, you know what? Maybe these guys are good too. And that's where they get your ass. So the same guy I was talking about in the story about ordering a turbo kit for, we were talking about manifolds, and he was telling me that he was thinking about buying a 1320 manifold. And I said, don't do it. Waste of money. If you want to save money, it's like you either buy the big manifold or you go log style. That's just it. Because if you buy that mid-range fucking garbage, you're going to be taking that manifold off every once in a while to re-weld it. Now, I've had a cheap ram horn and it lasted a year before it cracked, but still, I still had to. That was a day I had to down my car and to take shit apart and have it re-welded by somebody and put it back together. So, you know, I mean, I guess if you're okay with doing shit like that, then by all means go ahead and buy that. But if that's the case, then go for the cheapest one of those that you can find. Because the $200 version versus the $500 version, you're looking at the same shit. Now, right after that conversation, or during that conversation, I talked to Jesse. You know, I like to go, Jesse in Nipper Racing, of course, being who he is, he knows almost everybody in the industry. So I'm like, dude, do you have a guy that you like to go to for manifolds? Would you recommend somebody in the industry? Because if anytime I can make Jesse money, I like doing that. So if I can find a plug that Jesse has, then why not use that guy? If Jesse trusts him, I trust him. And he's like, well, unfortunately, I don't. But stay away from 1320. I'm like, oh, shit. I just told this guy the same thing. Stay away from 1320, right? He's like, they do bad business, and they copy off everybody, and their shit doesn't last. Which is, generally speaking, what all these mid-range guys do. They copy from other people's work, and their shit doesn't last as well, doesn't hold up as well. So now with that being said, like, what's the recommendation? I would go, yeah, it's easy. Like, if you follow all the big professional racers, look what the brands they use. Use that. Speed Factory Racing is a company that I trust immediately. So, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. It seems like I'm gassy, bro. It's like, I don't talk too much and I get fucking retarded. And I get fucking, I'm always gasping for air. Or maybe I'm just dying. I don't know. Anyway, so, Speed Factory Racing is a name I trust. I go to their website. I see BWR and I see Speed Factory's in-house manifold. Now, BWR, I'm not going to knock. But at the end of the day, guys, you know, so I'd rather buy the Speed Factory. I think the Speed Factory manifold is like $700. Now, the other one you go to and check out is Sheepy. And I think Sheepy's lower end manifolds are also in that $700 range. Everybody knows Sheepy. Sheepy's fucking making shit for Lamborghini. Go with it. And And then recently, Humble Performance, they said they're reaching out to their guys. They reached out to KLM, and KLM is now providing manifolds to Humble Performance for their kit. So KLM is now another one on my radar. If Humble Performance thinks that KLM is good enough to use, then they're good enough for me to use as well. So those are just 3 names as an example. KLM, Speed Factory Racing, and Sheepy. As far as PLM goes, I'd have to look at it again, guys, but I think that PLM may fall under that generic manifold thing. And it seems like that's just it. It really is. It's like a short video, but that's the thing to look at. If you're gonna stay under 500 horsepower or 500 is your max, there's nothing wrong with getting the fucking log style. It doesn't look very great, and yeah, it may not make as much power, but you just throw a little bit more boost at it to make up the difference. You'll still be able to make that 500 horsepower mark if that's your goal, overall with the right turbo and right injectors and whatnot. And so save yourself the headache. If you want to save yourself the headache of fucking welding cracked manifolds, that's the way to go. If you want something that, because they don't look very pretty, so people want something that looks good. If you want to, you just got to weigh the pros and cons, guys. Like, if you don't want to spend the money, but you want something that looks good, then you just have to be prepared to potentially fix that. Like I said, I used mine for a year. I don't even remember what brand it was. I used mine for a year before it cracked. And it seemed like the weak spot on that was the wastegate. A lot of vibration in these cars, and that's one of the smallest, narrowest parts for the metal. So it broke off. Thank God I didn't lose the entire wastegate, But yeah, it is what it is. So, so guys, that's it. I'll call it a wrap for tonight. Social media links are in the description down below, as well as the website. And you can enroll on Patreon for discounts for the HB units. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and peace. I will see you guys in the morning.